Hi, it's Troy Larson from TroyLarson.com, and today we're going to talk about our 3 big initiatives for 2025. Things that you should consider as well for your business as we're entering into the next phase of AI and automation. So going into 2025, we're breaking up into 3 different areas. So the first one I'm calling GO-PEP. Now, PEP stands for Prompt Engineering Perfection. Now, what does that mean? Well, I worked at McDonald's back in the 90s, and at McDonald's, we would get a lot of people that come in with off-the-cuff orders. So they would come in and say, I want a cheeseburger, hold the lettuce, or hold the onions, or extra pickles. And every time they came in, they would order the same thing. Now, we didn't know their orders, even if they came in a lot, because you'd always have different workers, you'd always have different people, and maybe some people knew them and might know their order, but it was always a hit or miss. But we had one gentleman who would come in every morning, and his name was Mr. Johnson, and they would yell back. I worked on the grill. They would yell back, Mr. Johnson's here. And we didn't serve lunch for breakfast, but he would always order a cheeseburger. And because he was an older gentleman, the manager built a relationship with him, and he could order dinner for breakfast. And so when he came in, immediately the name was yelled out, and we started cooking his dinner for breakfast. And I say that because we often use our AI, and I will say most of us use AI, like fast food restaurant, where we walk in with our custom order every time. And we say the custom order every time. Extra pickle, no onions, extra cheese, no mayo. We say the same thing every single time. Repeat the same thing. And the person doesn't quite understand you for whatever reason, and you have to repeat some things, and maybe they get it wrong. And so it's always a bit of a hassle if you have a complicated order that you give every time. But when Mr. Johnson came in, his order was right every single time. And that's how AI should work. And we often use AI in a way that we give prompts one-off every time. So it doesn't know anything about our business. It doesn't know anything about our goals. It doesn't know anything about our styles. Sometimes we copy and paste examples. Sometimes we copy and paste some additional information. But typically we're doing these a la carte orders in our AI. And so prompt engineering perfection is really around getting us that consistent accuracy that we want all the time with AI, so that every time I give a prompt around a certain area of my business, looking for content, looking for business guidance, that will give me, our goal is to get a 90 to a 98% accuracy for what we want. And I believe that's reasonable and doable. It takes some effort, and it takes some understanding of how to really work with the system and manipulate the AI, but it's completely doable. So that's one of our goals, because that's a huge save both on time, energy, and resources if we can get AI to respond the way we need to as quickly as possible. The second thing is digging deep into our tools. We all have these crazy tool sets and subscriptions, and we're always trying things out. We only have enough time to spend on the things that we need for our tools. So we don't really look at other features. If we're using the API, we may use 1 or 2 API calls that we need. But there are so many things that we probably don't know about, and so many ways that we can really leverage these tools to make our work more efficient. And so one of the things that we're doing as a team is really trying to become super experts on the tools that we have. In other words, don't be content with just learning the basics to do your job, but understand really the edges and the dark corners of the tools. What API calls does it have? What automation triggers does it have? So one of the tools we use is ClickUp. ClickUp has a ton of automation features. Now, we don't want to just build automations just for the sake of it, but rather than waiting to see if we have a need, let's look to see what is available. And so going deep into that, going deep into shortcuts, learning shortcuts. Are there faster ways for us to work in the tools? So many of these tools have amazing shortcuts, and really it's just building that muscle memory. So many ways to leverage our tools, but we only, we wade in maybe up to our ankles, and then, okay, I can't go any further because I don't have time. But if we would go out further, if we would go deeper, there are so many ways that these tools can really be used with automation, with AI, to really optimize and make your company efficient. And then the third thing is, which kind of ties this all together, is measure, measure, measure. We want to measure the performance of all the things that we're doing around automation. So automation is something that is really often intangible. We set up an automation. Oh, great, that replaced this task. Oh, I'm setting up an automation to create our daily checklist every day. Oh, I'm setting up an automation to schedule some Facebook, LinkedIn posts that I can review later. And when we turn these on, we don't really think about the positive impact on our business. And so one of the things that we're really focused on is measuring. How do we measure the improvements of all of these tools? How do we measure the accuracy of our AI prompts? So if my prompts are pretty good and I'm having to spend though another hour or two on them, how do I measure that? If I'm getting prompts that I really don't need to do much with, maybe a tweak here or there, how do I measure that? So really understanding and measuring the performance of all of these optimizations that we're doing with our tool sets. And so I think that's really important because it really gives you a good measuring stick to know, are you doing the right things? Are you spending time on the right thing? So if you're building automations in your business, you're adding new AI workflows, and it's not really giving you much time back, or now you're using AI to generate posts that took you an hour to write, but now you're spending another hour and a half going in there and tweaking the prompts, and you're playing with it constantly. You're constantly going into ChatGPT to say, well, this isn't quite right, but you're not really making the prompt better. You're just churning every day on the content. Then it's not really providing you value. If you're creating automations in your tools, and let's say they're having it doesn't do everything you need and you have to do some additional manual steps, or maybe it creates extra records you have to go in and delete. If it's having you do extra work that you shouldn't or you weren't doing before, is it really providing a value? So we need to be able to measure these things and understand if they're really giving us value. So those are the three things that we're really focused on in 2025. PEP, digging deep, and measure, measure, measure. Those are the three big initiatives. And I think if you really focus on those in 2025, you're going to be really geared up for an awesome year. And we are getting ready to launch a community where we can help you understand how you can use automation and AI to grow your business. If you are a business owner and you want to do things yourself, so you want to learn these things for your business, you know that you are missing out. You know that you're spending way too much time doing the wrong things. You know you're not using AI the right way. We have an awesome community, and I have an awesome coaching program that I'm getting ready to launch. Click below, you'll see a link. You can sign up for the waitlist. If the waitlist is open, then you can sign up now. But I hope to see you there. We are here to help you grow your business in amazing ways using AI and automation.